This year, more people watched court TV trials than ever before, and that was without a mega trial like Alec Murdaugh's or Johnny Depp's. This morning, we are looking back at the top 10 most controversial defendants of 2024. Everyone on this list went to trial this year for one reason or another, and it got our audience talking. Take a look.
She knows exactly where the camera is. She comes, she's got the gun hidden behind her. She slides down into the chair, and you hear her put it down on the bar stool. You can hear it whenever you get back to the jury room. You'll be able to hear it.
Slapping Anna.
I would never do that in public. I never did that. Show me. What you just said, I've never seen that in the discovery. I've been incarcerated 3 years. You never showed that to my team. Where did you get that?
This treadmill video, which was recovered by the prosecutor's office, speaks for itself. Everything that you need and want to know is captured on this video.
I am not crazy. I am not trying to avoid responsibility. I'm not the kind of person who could brutally murder another man, do it with apparent experience and training, and then go to the gym, and then go pick up my children. I can't imagine being that type of person.
In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court...
I understand she's doing her job. I'm not mad at her for that, but I know that I'm not a bad person, and I'm thinking, like, even she knows that, but I'm sitting here like she's doing her job, you know? And I believe that you all know that I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil person.
Not only did I not do this, I know who did. I know Scott killed his father. He took my husband, the father of Chris, Emily, and Amanda.
Richard Allen, you child murderer! Why did you do it? Shame on you! Shame on you, Richard!
You will hear that there was one and only one person who called the police that day to identify their kid as a suspected shooter. It was James Crumbley.
Now looking back, do you think, oh my gosh, he had mental issues?
No.
You don't deny that in April of 2021, you described your son as being depressed.
I didn't describe him as being depressed. I noticed that he was acting depressed.
You used the word depressed.
Yes, he was acting sad. He was acting depressed.
Were you in fear?
Always.
If he would have gotten out of the suitcase, what would he have done to you?
Like he used to tell me, he probably would have made me unrecognizable, or I would have lost my life.
Circus animals went down there to harass the O'Keefe family. Have some respect. A man has died.
How have you been holding up since the mistrial?
Always strong, always. I will not be broken. They will not break me.
Your message for all the supporters out here.
Thank you as always. Thank you as always.
The killer or cover-up murder trial at the top of our list with defendant Karen Reed, whose case ended in a mistrial, and it goes back to trial next year. Still with us, attorneys David Bruno and Randolph Rice are here for their analysis and our question, which do you think was the most controversial, and did we get it right? David, start with you.
Oh, my lady, number 2. She didn't make the top 1 spot, but that's number 1 for me, the infamous Sarah Boone. Childish games, right? And it didn't stop at that hide-and-go-seek game that she allegedly played with the victim. It was all the way in the courtroom with her requests for candy and all these benefits that she wanted. And you cannot help but bring up her advertisement to the public asking for her 9th lawyer to come forward. At that time, she was pro se, and we are all praying that somebody came forward, because a pro se Sarah Boone in that trial would have been an absolute train wreck. But she is the top spot for me in 2024. and let's just see what we have coming in 2025.
Oh, yeah, she won getting that 9th attorney, but she gambled when she turned down that plea deal and instead got life in prison. Randolph Rice, who did you think? Did we miss anyone? Is there anyone else you would have put in the top spot?
No, I think David picked a good one, but I went with number 7, Robert Tellis. I thought this was a great trial. I think this was a great case because of all the different angles. You had an elected official who was going after a reporter. You had DNA under Mr. German's fingernails. You had the mysterious maroon SUV that ultimately matched up with Mr. Tellis's vehicle. You had his cell phone being left at home. You had the straw hat that they found cut up in his house, the orange shirt, and the tennis shoes that they found also that were very unique. And then he gets on the stand and rambles for hours about how he's not the person that could do this and he's not capable of doing this, and ultimately still to this day denies it after a jury has convicted him. So that's my pick. Even though it's number 7, I would have put it at the top for 2024. And like David said, I'm looking forward to all the cases in 2025.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely put Robert Tellis in a list of the historic ones, the ones that just impact the legal system, because you had this elected official and an investigative journalist that was assassinated. You don't see a case like that. Jennifer Crumbley, of course, a pretty historic one in terms of how it's impacted. We talked about that earlier this hour. And Richard Allen, I think, also pretty historic just in the way that it was handled and the secrecy that seemed to surround it. But what do you think, David, about Carly Gregg's case? I know she was our number 10. She was 14 at the time. Her case is one where she was tried as an adult for killing her mother. She then got sentenced to life in prison without parole. Do you think that that one's going to survive on appeal?
Very sad case. Obviously, anytime you have a child acting that way, you know, I thought the jury got it right. Now, as far as sentence and whether or not she should have been tried as an adult, that's another question. But, you know, looking at that video, the video said it all. When she was carefully walking around, and that action of actually concealing the gun for the video showed that she understood the nature of her actions. So very, very sad case. And I just hope that a case like that could send a message to the community and parents that we need to do better for our children. I'm a father myself, and I hope that things change in our society on these types of issues.
Yeah, that's a big thing for some of these trials. When people watch them, they do make a difference in people understanding an issue much deeper than they ever did before. But Randolph Rice, I got to talk about the Karen Reed trial. It's our number 1 for a reason. We didn't have a mega trial. We call them mega trials when they just dominate the entire news cycle across the country, like an Alec Murdaugh or Johnny Depp case. But Karen Reed's trial was a lightning rod. It divided a community. What do you think it was about her case that created that kind of reaction?
Well, I think certainly the fact that there's all these different side stories going on about Karen Reed, and the fact that there's, you know, the stories about after the trial. But it's interesting because of the fact of the result of the trial, and that's what gives people the inside view of what happens in a courtroom. They want to see what happens. And I think that it's going to be an interesting 2025 to see how the prosecution moves forward and how the defense moves forward with defending her. This is one we definitely want to watch closely next year.
Absolutely. We are all looking forward to that retrial and all the things that are no doubt going to be bubbling up behind the scenes pre-trial as we get closer to that one, because there's so much with the jurors and with the prior judge. It's going to be something to pay attention to.